6. So we've got 6, right? I'm on a different screen right now, but there's 6 of you, right?
Yes.
Yes, 7, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we are recording and live stream on YouTube.
Okay, I guess I'll be standing in as chair, at least until you guys can make a motion to not let me, I guess, or do we need a motion for that, Kelly, or can I just run the meeting as vice
No,
chair?
I think you can go ahead and just run it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carmen had a conflict, so she's not going to be with us tonight. And I'll call the meeting to order, and if we could all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the flag
flag
of the United States of America
America,
and to the republic for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation, under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Okay. Kelly, could you help us with the roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Hilt, Commissioner Daughtry,
Hello, here.
Commissioner Tadgett,
Here.
Commissioner Hayden,
Here.
Commissioner Pincus, Commissioner McLarnon,
Here.
Kevin, I know, okay, I know you're there. Commissioner McCurdy, Commissioner Welch,
Here.
Commissioner Frederick, Commissioner Rasmussen,
Here.
Commissioner Ives.
Here.
And could we have a motion to excuse the absent members?
So moved.
And is there a second? Okay, thanks, Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Kelly, do we have anyone here for public comment?
We do not. Nope.
Okay. Then we'll move on to the minutes. I was here for July 7th and not August 2nd, so I'd like to just take them separately. And I'll make a motion to approve the July 7th minutes as written. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Kim. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Does someone want to make a motion for August 2nd, please?
I'll move to approve August 2nd minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thanks, Marcus. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? And I'll abstain just because I wasn't here.
Yep.
Just a point of order. It's not necessary that you abstain. If you're not there, you can still vote to pass the minutes because you've read them.
Ah, okay, that's fair. Then I'm happy to amend my vote to approve.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the normal business. Item 1 I have on the agenda is outreach to veterans. I'm not sure who wanted to lead that item. I wasn't here for that, but if someone wants to jump in, floor is open. Was there
Was
maybe
this-
nothing specific?
Was this specific? Was this, I don't remember if this was specific to something.
Let me find,
I think that this was supposed to be a discussion on how do we continue to improve our outreach to veterans in our city. I think that's what it was for, as a placeholder for that. And, you know, our last coffee clutch, which we are going to be talking about, I guess, in number 3, we could probably put them together, was to all sense and purposes, very successful on how many people we had that were not commissioners there. I think that an important thing happened that maybe you all don't know about, but there was a person, a veteran that was kind of roaming around the premises that didn't come all the way down to where we were. And I noticed him and I walked up to talk to him, and he was very much into his PTSD at the time, but he was really trying to break that and come talk to us. And he actually just could not do it. He had a really hard time just talking to me. But he's trying. So, we look for those kinds of things and reach out to them if we can and talk to them and let them know that, they're welcome no matter what. And that's what I did. I think we just have to be watchful for that. And if we can come up with some better ways of reaching out, then great. I would love to do it every week if we had to, and especially with what's going on right now.
Mhm.
It's, there's so much going on right now over in the sandbox that it's really hard to wrap my head around it. I wasn't ever in the sandbox. I was underwater for that, for the very beginning of it. It's hard to believe that was 20 years ago, but it was. And so anyway, we know we have some people out there that are having some trouble with this. I don't know how to outreach to them any more than what we're doing, but I'm certainly open to suggestions, and I'll help any way I can.
Since we're talking about the coffee clutch, I know that it probably would have gone on longer if we hadn't had to kind of cut it short for the cleanup. What are the hours that we're using? Because I think that we could easily schedule for 2 hours, and then if it starts ending early, we can, cut it off earlier. But we were at a good hour and a half, and people were still actively having communication and conversation.
Okay, so normally when we're at the mill, we have it from 7:30, actually 7 to set up, but 7:30 to 9.
Okay.
The only time we would have to leave before 9 is if somebody else is coming in to use the mill. And, like they were using it last week, we didn't even try to set up because they were going to be in earlier. So they were setting up in there before we even got done. And that's why we decided to do it at the War Memorial. So we didn't even have to play that game. Turns out that was a good idea. And so, a lot of times we're not going to have that problem, but the mill is being used more and more, which is good. That's what we want. We may need to maybe find a better place to do our coffee clutches that would allow us to go longer than that. The War Memorial certainly would work, but not in inclement weather. We could use the senior center when that's back open again. That doesn't cost very much to do. It would, I think it would cost, or maybe we could get the senior center board to allow the Veterans Commission in there for free. Pretty sure they would go for that. And then there's other places we could do it. We just have to look and find them and
Okay.
figure it out. But I'd, going as long as we have to go, why not, right?
Yeah.
So let me break this down a little bit. I think 2 things came out there. One is the duration. So we've been posting 8 to 9, that's what's publicly been posted for the event. But also Kim brought up another thing that I don't want to lose this thread. So I'll just mention it now, but before we end this topic, let's come back and discuss it. And that is, at any point in time, we could get bumped from the mill, with fairly short notice. So we do need to think about having a place as sort of our rain location, right? And so that's something that I don't, I think we need to talk through and maybe put some actions around, because it could happen as early as next month that we're looking for a place to go with short notice. But Debbie, you raised a question about duration. Do you want to dive into that longer or more? Or?
Well, I think that if we can designate 2 hours, maybe not the hour or the hour and a half, and just say 2 hours, that I think the only reason people really left was because we were kind of having to close up shop to get to the next thing, which isn't going to happen all the time. But if we can designate it a longer period of time. And then the other thing is the War Memorial was a great place but it's not easy to access for people that have access issues, especially when, that might change once that construction's done, but trying to get people over there, if they had access issues, would be difficult.
Yeah, that is definitely going to change by the fall. So, that they're actively doing the construction right now, so it should change. But yeah, you're right. Access is hard right now. I mean, there's other places we could go. We could go to the Buzz Inn, for instance. They've got a room that we could be in there. And I'm sure the Buzz Inn would let us do it. Marcus and I can get us in there. And I'm sure that there's other places. And yeah, I'd like to be able to say that we're going to go from 8 to 10 or whatever, or we're going to go, start at 8 o'clock and not even put an end time on it, that kind of thing. But in the mill, we basically have to do that.
My 2 cents is it's probably good to put an end time on it, just to let people know that, if we're going to publish it, that they can't drop in at noontime and expect people to be there. It's not like an all day thing, and then if we go long, that's a different story.
Right.
Any other comments, discussion on this one?
Could we maybe revisit this next month? Sorry, in regards to, I could reach out to a few places, Marcus, but Buzz Inn, all that kind of things. Maybe we can try to find some alternate spaces that would be available, kind of reach out to the community and find some of those places and discuss them.
Yeah, and I guess for this month, Kim, since you brought it up, I mean, is if the weather looks like it's going to be bad, I guess I'm asking your thoughts. Is it something that we can call the Buzz Inn and end up on short notice getting access to the room, or do we need to think of something else? Or, do you have any suggestions?
Marcus, what do you think about that? Would we call Billy, or would we need to go down to Marcus? Going once.
Yeah.
So would we, if we needed to use the Buzz Inn, for instance, for the coffee clutch, is that something we could do on short notice by just calling Bill Tackett, or do we call?
Yeah, I can handle that. Done deal. No issue.
Okay.
All right. So if we have that problem, we'll get Marcus to handle it if we want to go there. I also think that we can get the senior center on relatively quick notice.
That back room in the Buzz Inn is really a great spot for a coffee clutch. I will tell you, we have a nice side room there.
Yeah, it's a great place. So,
and I was just thinking of, September, since it's coming up, just to have a plan in our back pocket to know we do have an option, and then maybe we discuss it more as a group if we want to make something more permanent, or whether we think that's fine.
Yeah, we're only 3 weeks away, so I don't know. Do you want to just try it for Buzz Inn this time and not do the mill?
I think the Buzz Inn would be a great choice. Just let me know when, and I'll get it scheduled.
Okay, Marcus, does everybody agree with that?
Yeah. Do we think we're going to get bumped from the mill this month, or we just don't know?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't checked, and I don't know what's on the schedule.
Buzz Inn will be free, and they'll probably even donate the coffee.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
What is the date for the next one?
That's the 17th.
Oh, Friday?
No, I'm
Saturday.
sorry. It's on the
It's the
18th. The 18th. Sorry, I'm looking at my calendar wrong. The 18th.
18.
So say the 18th from 8 to 10.
So just point of clarification, is this Buzz Inn alternate space? You'll start at the mill, or just totally Buzz Inn?
I think we're still discussing that part.
Okay, sorry. All right,
No, that's
before
okay.
we move on, I got to notice this as a potential quorum, so I want to know where you're going to be.
Right.
I think we ought to try to Buzz In and just do it.
Okay.
So Marcus, if you would set that up for the 18th of September from 8 to 10.
And then how do you let people know the change?
The same way we do with our Facebook posts.
Yeah.
Oh, Facebook.
And
Then
I actually have one more question in regards to trying to get our information out to other veterans. Do we have access to emails or anything like that, like through the Legion, or access to anyone that maybe does not use social media but might have an email that we can send information to? I don't know. I'm not on the Legion, but I don't know how, like, you on the Legion, how you would contact the veterans.
Kevin, do we still have that email roster that we got, what, 2 years ago?
Not for us. The one for us was pretty useless. So most of the people we've gotten rid of that because people change their address and move, and it was more people bouncing back than. So what we've been doing the last 3 newsletters is telling them to sign up for the newsletter on the city's website. So we also publish this event, or we should, on the city's website, and people could get notified that way as well. If they signed up for notices.
Are we publishing this on the city's website, the event?
I don't know about August, but we did July. It's just, we just have to let Kelly know and she'll publish.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't, I didn't even think to share it to the city or do anything with the posts that I've been sending out, but I don't know how you do that with the city.
Just another thought I had, the Coffee Klatch is now a foundation Coffee Klatch, correct, Kim? Or am I wrong on that? Oh,
no.
okay. It's still a commission hosted.
Right.
Event.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
I don't know if I don't think it really changes anything if it goes to the foundation anyway, for commissioners to come, more than 4 commissioners show up. I guess it doesn't matter at that point
Yeah.
because it's not a city meeting at that point. Right now, it is still commission.
Right. And we have been posting it on the calendar, to answer your question, Debbie. That's where,
Okay.
and I don't know if it changes to the foundation. It may change whether or not it be on the calendar or an event that gets published some other way. But for September, it can go on the calendar, I think, if we ask Kelly to put it up there.
Yeah, I think so too. Let me just talk with Dawn about that, just the best way to put that out there on our city website, but I'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have one thing on the 18th. The American Legion has a flag lowering memorial service for one of our members that passed away a month or so ago, and so that'll be at 10 o'clock at the memorial.
Well, then
Oh,
we can go from our Coffee Klatch right over to the memorial then.
If we're going to start at 10, so if somebody wanted to, but if you're over at Buzz Inn, that would make it a little harder.
Yeah, we can do, we can leave it just, 5-10 minutes before and walk over to the memorial.
And Vern, to Debbie's point earlier, is there some way the Legion could notify people about the Coffee Klatch, or would that be something that would cross lines? Or
we do have those that have email addresses. We can send things out, but probably this time I will be sending out a message about the flag lowering, and I could mention it in that if you want me to.
that'd be great.
But I need to talk with my officers in the American Legion post before I commit to do that.
It's just, I know that that stereotypically a lot of older veterans might not have the Facebook. And so they're not seeing the event, so they're not getting notified at all that we're having this happen. So just trying to get it out there as much as possible.
do you want us to draft some words, Vern? Are you comfortable just drafting the words if your folks are agreeable to do it?
For the Coffee Klatch, I probably could put something together, but
Okay.
You're welcome to send it if you want, if you have any thoughts you'd like to include. But I could probably come up with something on that.
Okay.
Kind of short notice, and I'll put something together. I got to get that out fairly soon now.
Right. Well, I'm happy with you putting something together as long as you're comfortable with it. I didn't want to make you uncomfortable, but
I can take care of that one.
okay. So let's see, we kind of went from outreach to veterans down to Coffee Klatch. Is there anything else on the Coffee Klatch we want to talk about? And just to summarize, I think what we've got is Marcus is going to get it scheduled at Biscuit and Bean.
No,
Buzz in.
buzz in.
Thanks. And Vern's going to help us publicize it. And what was the other action that I wrote down? Oh, we're going to make it 2 hours long.
I'll go ahead and update the Facebook event for all the changes.
Great. Okay, is there anything going back to the original outreach to veterans topic? Thanks, Kim. I now understand what that was about. Is there any other outreach that we wanted to talk about? Anyone been thinking about or want to revisit? Okay.
Right,
Let's move along to adopt a highway then. Sam, do you want to update us on that?
Yeah, so it was pretty successful. That strip of freeway I thought was not going to be that bad. Turns out it was pretty bad. So we had 20 bags that we were able to fill. I think we probably only covered about a quarter of that section of freeway. I submitted the paperwork I think three or 4 days later. And yeah, we're good to go. So whenever we want to schedule the next one, I'll reach out and let them know that we're going to do it again. And yeah.
And the next time we do this, we reach out to some other groups. I mean, we've got what, 4 Boy Scout troops, 5 Boy Scout troops in the city of Lake Stevens that might be interested in helping out.
They have to be 15 or older though.
Yeah, and we can do that with troops because they're 11 to 18, but Troop 43 does Hartford Road cleanup and the entire troop goes out on that. And they've got 11-year-olds running that one, but that's probably a stretch of roadway out there too. I don't know, maybe reach out to some other groups because having some more hands on deck would have been a lot easier with that thing. I drive that every day, and I think we've only covered maybe 10% of it.
There's a max of 10 at any one time, isn't there, on the minute or the record?
Yeah, that's what the form said. I noticed that too. Samara, any thoughts about whether that's a hard one, hard, fast rule?
What if we broke up into 2 groups, one on one end and one on the other, working towards the middle?
Yeah, from what I've heard, they do that out of safety, but some other groups that I know that have done these in the past, I mean, they don't go out and police folks when they're out there. So, I mean, if we have more than 10, I don't think there's going to be an issue, but you know, it may be that we have 10 on one side and 10 on the other. I also think now that school is starting back up, you know, there's volunteer hours that the high schoolers need to do too. So that's another group of folks that can be reached out to. And then depending on what time, or I guess depending on what weekend it is, there's a number of units that are drilling out of Marysville. So you could always reach out to those drilling units too and see if anybody wants to go out and help pick up some stuff.
Mhm.
And I guess another thought is if we have to keep the numbers low, I like the idea of outreach and maybe we just split it up and have more events and rather than having 50 people at one event, we have, 10 people at 5 events and divide it up amongst ourselves as to who goes to each one.
Yeah, and they want you to do for a year at a minimum. So we can certainly do it more often if we wanted.
Well, if we're ever going to get that cleaned up even once, we're going to have to do it a lot more often because we went about 300 yards.
That road
Yeah.
hasn't been picked up for a long time. And
Yeah.
I figured it would take about 4 times before we can make it through the whole.
So another group that we could do is the Youth Advisory Council.
So do we want to carry this forward to next month and think about doing some outreach pick a date next month and try to get something in before the weather turns, or is it too soon to make those kind of steps? Maybe too soon.
I think October is often pretty nice. 2 months, but at least every 2 months would be a better than once every month. People are busy, and it takes a full morning to take care of it. And
so I'm going to suggest we leave this on the agenda, and then next month, I don't know if that's enough time to plan it, but if anyone, doesn't sound like, we're really eager to pick a date right now and move forward, but maybe if we put it on the agenda in early October, we'll want to pick a date and do some outreach and try to do something, or not. Maybe we'll decide to let it slide for a bit.
I don't remember her name, but my son will, the gal at the high school that actually coordinates all the volunteer hours. I can reach out to her and find out what they need from us in order to kind of promote it at the school level. So I can do that before the next meeting.
Okay, welcome, Kurt.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I'm on duty today.
Hopefully things will be quiet. We're on number 2, Adopt a Highway. We did talk about the coffee klatch already.
Perfect.
Any other discussion on Adopt a Highway stuff before we move on?
I thought it was very, very well organized and went well. I thought we did good for those that were there. We filled all their bags, and time to go again soon.
Yep. Actually, I had one more thing to add. I guess I want to make sure I heard right, but I heard a rumor that some good citizen came along and decided to use the cargo carrier, and that we didn't have to throw it out. Someone took it with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I a couple of days after, I was driving into Everett, and I noticed the bags were still there, and I noticed a big mess over where that container was, and someone had just dumped the cargo container and took it. So either someone realized that was theirs and they never knew where they lost it, or someone's reusing. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the reuse. I decided to write something for the next newsletter about that, and we'll keep a positive thought about it. Okay, polo shirts. Kelly, do you have this update since Carmen's not here, or?
Yeah, I do. So I've kind of taken this on. So I sent you guys an email, and I only heard back from 4 of you. So I kind of wanted to put the plug in again if you are interested in a polo shirt, to get me your size, so I can get those ordered. So I heard from Kevin and Kim and Samara and Carmen, but I haven't heard from anybody else. So I'm going to shoot the email back out again as a reminder. And if you're not interested in one, I think that's okay too. Just let me know so I can check you off the list. But I'd like to get those ordered, and I think we're going to talk about it coming up. If you guys are going to be maybe doing something with Harvest Fest or any events coming up, it'd be nice to have the polos. So I want to get that wrapped up. So I'll do that again. I'll send out another reminder.
Good. So look for an email, guys.
Yeah.
Get
Just
your
looking for a
diets done,
size.
or order as is,
Yeah. I don't want to try to guess sizes, so let me know what you want. And
Yeah,
that's it.
I want to get this off the agenda too.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, newsletter. I'll just kick this off to say the next newsletter should go out end of September to cover October, November, December, or early October. So I've just kind of started it. My thought at this point is, since we're meeting on like the 4th of October, is that I would have it ready for review at our October meeting, and then you guys could approve it and we'd send it out, the first week of October. So at this point, we'll talk about the coffee klatch and the Adopt a Highway stuff. Fairly starved for content beyond that. So if anyone has any ideas about what we should do as a feature story, or any, business stuff is always good. Right now, we're at kind of a hold on businesses. So anyone has names of people that we should be recognizing, that would be helpful, or anything else you'd like to see, please drop me a note.
So another thing we could put in the newsletter, I think, because it is appropriate for us, is the food bank. The food bank is doing a fundraiser to build their building. It's the construction costs that they're after right now. And the reason that's appropriate to us is because one of our things that we were tasked to do when we first became a commission was to help get the food bank going, because we're going to have office space available there for our SRO, and others like that. So I think it would be appropriate for us to get with the food bank and advertise that they're looking for donations for the construction stuff, and do that as a part of our newsletter.
Okay. Kim, do you know like who I should contact, or any suggestions of a
I'll get all the information necessary. The person in charge of that would be Sophia Nunez, but I'll get a hold of her, or Doug Warren, who's the president of the food bank. I'll get a hold of them and see what we can do and what they would like to put in the newsletter. And if there's any electronic copy that I can send you, I will.
Okay, great. And I'm happy to chase them down too, if that's easier for you.
No, I can get them. It's not a problem.
Okay, super. Thank you. Any other thoughts? Okay, well, if anything comes up, just drop me a note. We've got plenty of room. We're not constrained by the number of pages, so don't hold back. Okay, I think the next item is Harvest Fest. Not sure who's going to lead this discussion.
Is there a date set for Harvest Fest?
The 30th, I think, of October.
Kim, again, I wasn't at August, so is the topic about whether we're going to participate and how, or what were we thinking here?
So I think it's do we participate? What we would have is like a pop-up tent with a table, and we give out candy to the kids as they go by. It's just to kind of give your face to the community, because it's a big event. They're going to come by, the parents will be with them. We give the kids family, if they want to ask us questions or take a handout or something like that, or sign up for the newsletter, whatever, then we take care of that. It isn't a thing where we get in your face and, are you a veteran, stuff like that. We're just really down there to have fun with the kids. And it'd be really cool if we dressed up, somehow. I don't know what we'd want to do. Maybe there's some kind of a theme we could work for us. I was thinking maybe military, but I don't know why we would do that. So there's a lot of things we could do. You try to make your booth look festive for Harvest Fest and things, or Halloween is what it's really supposed to be for. And I actually have a lot of Halloween type things that I have access to. I know where it's at, and I'm the only one with a key, so we could get anything we wanted out of there, including an animatronics type thing. I don't know. So that's what it's for. Just be out in the community.
Is that
keeps
a
our
day
name out
thing,
there.
or all day thing, or evening, or?
No, it's an evening thing. I think it starts at 5 or 5:30 and goes till 10, somewhere in there.
Right.
Will this be Sunday, the 31st?
That'd be the 30th, I think. I think it's on Saturday.
It's on Saturday, the 30th.
Oh, maybe yeah, I've got it on my calendar as 30th, but I'll have to find out for sure. Most of the times it's on Halloween, so that would be the 31st.
And I was at the one 2 years ago. We were on the main street with the city's booth. We kind of just set up next to them is what we did that time. I think, as I recall, we ended up as a group agreeing to buy a bunch of candy. I want to say Carmen bought it like at the base or something.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is a change from last time is we were trying to have people sign up for newsletter last time. It really didn't work well because it was dark out
Yeah.
and we kept losing the papers. But I could print up, 50 or 100 newsletters and we could just hand them our newsletter because that has instructions on how to sign up for future newsletters. So that might be a way to deal with getting interest.
Very good idea.
I think there's time to talk. I guess my thought here is we just need to agree that we want to do this. And then we will have time on our next meeting to talk about who's going to, be at the event and stuff like that. But I imagine we need to let the city know if we're interested in participating.
Yeah, there's a couple of us on the call that might be participating in a different booth, but we need to discuss that, but I'll certainly help any way I can.
Well, I'm happy to volunteer. It was, pretty good last time, and we even got free pizza by being next.
Yeah, I'm down there. I've been down there every year for as long as I can remember. It's a great time. Sure be nice to have Festival Street done by then, but I don't think it will be. Oh, no, I know it won't be. It's not supposed to be done till March.
So maybe this isn't appropriate moderation, but I'm sensing not a lot of conversation about this. So is there anyone that has reservations about participating? I'd ask you to share them. Otherwise, I think there's a consensus to participate. I see some violent nods. Okay. So I guess for now, we'll say we'll participate, and maybe we put this on the agenda for next month to confirm, who's going to be there at the booth. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, get the logistics down on the next meeting.
Yep. Okay.
When we
great.
have to sign up by and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, and we'll have to buy the candy and all that good stuff. Okay.
So we can have the foundation do that.
Any additional discussion there? Okay. Any new business?
I have a question on how we determine the certificates for the veteran run or veteran preferred businesses. And I can't remember if I missed something, but isn't it just we nominate somebody? Is there any kind of background check, like a Yelp search or something like that, to make sure that we're not honoring somebody that's maybe doesn't deserve to be honored?
Yeah, great question. So it's probably an area that needs to be strengthened a little, but right now what I've been doing since I've been kind of running with it is trying to volunteer, trying to look up if there's anything on their website that references, a lot of websites have an about page, and you can see most, I would say half of the ones that we've done have something on their website saying that about their history as a veteran. I call them up and try to interview them. That's the first step. And I ask them, do they qualify and what branch were they in? And it's kind of two purposes. One is to, as you said, to make sure, they're not pretending. And also we want to write it up and give them advertisement and support. So I don't take any further steps though, Dennis, to if they tell me, they were in the Army and this division and where they served, I just accept that as at this point, I take it.
Kevin, it wasn't so much, yeah, you're right. You should be checking their service, but what if we do a Yelp review and granted you can have one customer gets upset and just blasts you. But what if there's an ongoing history of something like, hey, this guy promised to deliver this and it never got delivered. And then we go ahead and hand him a certificate saying, hey, Lake Stevens Veterans Commission recognizes you. And that guy's got that hanging on the wall. What does that look like for us?
Okay, I understand. Different point, but it's also very valid. I would say that, just again, not that I'm doing the right thing, just where it stands today, right? The state of the state is that we look at the website. I don't necessarily you know, if they don't have a great website, I do check Yelp just to try to find out, you know, chasing down, are they a valid vet? But I don't really do anything to look at reviews like Google reviews, stuff like that, you know, maybe we should. I have another thing to ask about the Veterans Commission. I'm going to wait, not the Veterans Commission, this business recognition thing. I don't want to confuse the two issues though. So does anyone else have thoughts or comments? Okay. So I think, Dennis, what I can offer is, you know, I think it's a good suggestion. I'll try to do it. Also, at this point, I try to bring every nominated business before the whole group, right? At least once, so that everyone, you know, hears it and is thinking about what this business is. And maybe as we do that, we can be thinking about how to, you know, what else we want to be doing, or how we, you know, make sure we're comfortable with this recognition. I mean, I think you raised a good point.
I just thought walking into a business, and if I saw one of our certificates there, granted, would anybody notice it? Maybe, maybe not. But at the same time, what does it say for us as a commission if we recognize somebody that's maybe not doing the best for the community overall? But then also we've got great veterans that are taking care of their customers and looking after the people who work for them. So I'd like to have that certificate mean something a little more than, hey, you were a veteran, you opened a business.
Yep. So I'm going to add to that just a thought. When I noticed in the minutes from last meeting, there seemed to be some discussion or a sense, discussion is the wrong word maybe, but I read a statement saying that we'd focus only on Lake Stevens veterans businesses. And we discussed this in June and came to like the opposite conclusion. We said that if the business served the Lake Stevens and greater community, you know, adjoining towns, then that was good enough. So I'm not sure if the difference in outcome was just different people were at the meeting that night, or whether you know, people feel strongly about this. So I just wanted to share that I'm a little confused, and I don't expect a solid answer unless people feel strongly. But I think it's something we should talk through to the point where we get a consensus, you know, one meeting to the next.
Chair, that's been consistent since the formation of the foundation. Is if there is a nexus in any way, whether it's a resident who has a business elsewhere, or the business is in Lake Stevens, or the business serves Lake Stevens or its environs, then it was in our interest to recognize that that business or that individual.
Right. Thanks, Kurt. That's what I remember from June. It just sounded like
it's fairly liberal.
So where I wasn't here in August, is everyone, I see Kim nodding a little, but is everyone comfortable with that? I mean, that's how I've been interpreting the program. Okay. So I'm going to assume that the August minutes were a little bit misleading, and that really, if they serve the residents of Lake Stevens, even if the business isn't in Lake Stevens, then it would be fair game to recognize them. Okay, thank you guys. Any other new business?
Do you want a correction to the minutes? Because that's certainly not what I had reported on. Or maybe just need to make that note in these minutes from today's meeting.
I would think we could just note it as,
So,
yeah, after
Clarification.
okay. Sorry about that, if that was my error.
Anything else on new business?
I have something really quick, and it's a message that came through the foundation page, but it's not really a foundation thing. I don't even know if it's a commission thing, but a gal reached out. She lost, her mother-in-law passed away, and she was looking for any disabled folks in the city or area who might be in need of a motorized wheelchair or a couple of chair lifts. And I told her we were having the meeting tonight, so I'd mention it. I don't know if Vern, I don't know if you guys have like a needs list at all, or if it's maybe something I could connect her to the Legion. I didn't even know where to start, so I figured I'd start here.
With because of the COVID thing, we've kind of lost some essential contact with a number of our members. So that information to me is not readily available, but we could perhaps start doing a little checking and see if there's a need.
Okay.
Is it something that needs to be done right away?
She didn't say. I just told her that I'd kind of discuss it tonight and see if we knew. I didn't know, so I was hoping maybe someone else knew kind of how we could find someone that might be able to use them.
Yeah, that's certainly a worthy activity to look into. So I'll see what I can do.
Okay, I'll just let her know that that we're looking into it, and I'll kind of see if I can get like a timeline from her.
Okay.
So, thank you.
That sounds good.
Great. Anything else? How about any additional upcoming agenda items? Hearing none. How about a motion to close?
So moved. This is Kurt.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, see you guys in a month.
See you guys next month.
Little
Bye-bye.
over,
Thank you.
October 4th, next meeting.
October 4th.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye, guys.
See you.